Hey everyone, I hope you all having a great SUGCON 2026. Today, along with my colleague Varun, we will be presenting a real-world automation that we have built. This is not a vision talk that we will be discussing today. It's basically, we will be seeing I would say like in X minute of time, like how real world, like how a page that has been mapped in the Sitecore JIRA, right? Basically, we'll be starting with the JIRA task created in a JIRA, and then we will see how that complete requirements that are defined in JIRA gets mapped onto the Sitecore along with the Content Hub and the Sitecore CMS. So we'll be looking into that along with my colleague Varun. Yeah, we would like to thank all of our sponsors. Without all of them, I think this session wouldn't have been possible. So we are grateful for them for providing us this opportunity. Yeah, myself, Chirag, I'm a two-time Sitecore Technology MVP, and apart from that, I'm working as a technology lead at the Horizontal Digital. And I think some of you guys might know my profile on Sitecore Stack Exchange or Slack. So most of the guys have been known myself onto the Sitecore Stack Exchange or Sitecore Slack channel. Yeah, I would pass over to my colleague, Varun.
Hey guys, I am Varun Shringarpure. I am a 7-time technology MVP, and I was born in Sitecore 16 years ago, which makes some of my code bases legally allowed to vote. I am also co-founder of Sitecore User Group India, and I am a host of a podcast called Sitecore Tech Talks. Well, other than that, I am a lifelong learner, and I feel as technologists, we all should keep learning day in and day out. So let's take a very usual scenario that we have in the life of us, or all of us technologists, right? 4:45 p.m. Friday evening, when we are all planning something over the weekend, a Jira ticket lands which says swap 12 hero images before Monday. The problem is not the Jira ticket, neither the timing. The problem is it is assigned to you. All the plans of weekend gone to drain. So that's where we are. As a part of technology, we have all these things at our disposal. We have Jira, where tickets are being created by the clients. We have Slack and Outlook, where we get notifications when they are created. We have an amazing system, an ecosystem like Sitecore, which helps us build everything. The problem is we are still the manual glue. Sitecore has given us the tools to automate a number of things. Are we really using it to our benefit is the question here. And what Chirag and I are trying to do today is we are trying to figure out a way if we can help show some use cases by which we can automate some of these tasks. So let's say we want to build a page in your CMS, okay? This can be very easily automated. So when we are looking at it as a process, how we do it, this is the process. The only thing is, so you get the details in Jira, and then of course you close it off later, and you do things manually. But instead of that, we can consider Sitecore's Marketer MCP, and there are a number of tools in Marketer MCP which you can repurpose or utilize, with which you can create a page, add component to a page, map content to the page, publish the page, what all and what not. So let's look a very quick demo on this and see how we can do this using Sitecore Marketer MCP.
Yeah, so this is one of our Jira story which we have created. It's a normal story which have come created by the, let's say, AI editor. It states like create a new article item under the articles folder. with the name is provided, and basically the parent folder path is provided, and it's mentioned to add two basic components onto the page, which is the promo and the rich text. So what we are doing is like this Jira story has come to us. We have used N8N. We will talk more about N8N in the upcoming demo. Let me yeah. So what this N8N is, it's basically doing is it basically a listener, which is basically listening to your Jira stories, right? In this case, what we are listening is we are in our this one, we are checking our assignee is AI editor, right? And then we are getting the Jira issue details. All these are like hooks available within the N8N, using which we can plug in the Jira issue ID and leverage that in our workflow. Now, the main logic for creating a page and everything resides in our agent, which is residing at the this step. This basically connects to the OpenAI GPT model. It's basically LLM which we have used, and it has some memory associated with it. And then finally, we have used the Sitecore Marketer MCP. So this is the Marketer MCP URL, which is marketer.sitecorecloud.io. And in this, basically, as you can see, it provides us various tools. You can basically create a page, add a component onto the page, and do multiple things. Basically, you can even do the A/B testing, personalization, or anything you would like to do using the Sitecore Marketer MCP. So it basically lists all the tools which are there in the Marketer MCP. So for this use case, we have used 4 tools which are available in the Marketer MCP, which is create page, add component on the page, and get content item by path, and get content item by ID. And inside this AI agent, we have trained it. So basically reading the Jira story, and we have orchestrated its skills so that basically whatever the task is, it comes in Jira. It basically able to know that skill through these skills and create this perform that particular task. So what I will do, I will basically execute this workflow. Now, as I mentioned, this is active now. So whenever any updates happen to my Jira story, so I'm on this story and I just move it into the in review state. So this automatically gets picked up. So you can see it moved from the Jira status change to editor, and we got the Jira issue details, and we have the AI agent, which is now you can see it is performing each and every step. It basically connecting to LLM, and then it's connecting to Sitecore Marketer MCP. So it basically performing all the tools behind the scenes. We don't need to worry about that, and it will do all this stuff. It will create a component, create a page, and do everything. So let's, I think it should be done. Now let me just go back to this one. So as I mentioned, I mentioned to create this new page under the articles folder. So right now it is empty. So if I just refresh this. So yeah, so we could see the article which we just mentioned here to create a new article with the SUGCON 2016 articles and add these 2 components so on the page. So we could see with the help of Sitecore Marketer MCP, it have created that particular article page, and it have also added these 2 components, promo and rich text. If we go to the presentation details, we could see automatically the components are added, and everything is working as expected. And it is have created a local data source for both of them. So it's basically a simple use case. We just wanted to get started with that, so you get a glimpse of how the Sitecore Marketer MCP can be plugged in.
So POC done, it's possible. Let's switch back to the presentation and see how we can leverage this to make it larger, make it bigger, and make it more effective. So again, similar to how we did for page, let's have a workflow in place. What the workflow is, again, we start with Jira, but we need to upload the images. Yes, Content Hub is the right place. So we want to upload the images in Content Hub. We want to attach them in the image fields in Sitecore CMS, and then we want to also update the status in Jira back. Sounds simple when you do it manually. But here we want to add one more thing. Before uploading and before going live, we want somebody to manually approve it. A human who is able to take care of that task as a confirmation. so that AI is not just running around and doing its own stuff. So technically we have two writes, one in Content Hub, one in Sitecore CMS. So is this possible, Chirag?
Yeah, definitely. So as I mentioned, we have the MCPs available for both Sitecore, which is Sitecore Marketer MCP. So what we have done, when I started MCP, I was wondering why do we need MCPs, right? When we have APIs and everything, right? So I basically went through some of the articles and saw basically our LLM will not be able to understand the APIs, right? So that's why we have a model context protocol, which is standardized so that our LLM can understand the basically the MCPs. So the MCPs are running basically using the JSON RPC protocol, which is a standardized so that standard protocol, so that if we build any API on that top of using the MCP agents, so that can be used by LLMs and they can perform the necessary actions. So in this demo, we'll be using the multiple MCPs, which is Rovo MCP and Sitecore Content Hub MCP and Sitecore MCP and other MCPs we'll be using in our demo. Then we will be, as I mentioned, we have used N8N. It's basically a workbench where you will plug all your workflows together, right? We'll be looking onto that more into the demo. And then the final step is the human in the loop. So the most important is we don't want Jira task to be created and that gets approved and everything gets pushed onto production without any human in the loop. So for that, we have integrated with the Slack to get the notification approvals.
Cool. So this is what we have. We have the Rovo MCP, which reads the ticket, identifies what needs to be done. We have the Content Hub MCP, which is something that we have created custom. It is for uploading in Content Hub and creating public links. And then we have also created a variant of Sitecore MCP, which helps us get the page live. So basically, there are things which are available which we can repurpose, and there are things which we can develop and make. Both things are as important and also as easy to do. Our approval is Slack, so we'll look at that also in our demo. So we have two gates, one before uploading in Content Hub and one before the page goes live. And AI understands everything and it does the needful. So overall, when you look at the agents, how they work, Jira, everything goes to the N8N workflow where it is being developed. And the major blocks is the AI agent, which takes care of the content of AI, which uses GPT 4.1 and some simple memory. That first agent is using content of MCP and Atlassian MCP, while on Sitecore AI agent, we're using the Sitecore MCP and again Atlassian MCP. The reason we are using Atlassian MCP at both the places is to comment back on the story so that the status is aware to the marketer. All right, let's have a quick demo on this, which is again a step forward to what we had as a part of our initial demo.
This is one of the story which Varun mentioned just came to us on Friday evening, right? So in this story, it's mentioned to upload the images to the existing marketing page, which is there. Basically, there are already the images are there. We need to change those images on the page. But the point here is we cannot change directly. It needs to go through the Content Hub, and then from Content Hub, it needs to create a public link, and then from public link, it needs to be mapped onto the Sitecore item. So for that, we have built the complete journey using the different MCP servers which we just discussed right now. This is a complete how the N8N workflow looks like. So while during the demo, we will be demonstrating this might look a little complicated right now, but when we will be running the demo, this will become more clear, like what all each AI agent step is doing and how the complete journey has been amalgamated into achieving the task which has been created in Jira.
So over here, when you look at it, when the status of the Jira ticket is updated, it will start at the starting point over there, and then everything will go through. And then there are, sections where it will wait for a human in the loop.
Yeah. So this one is again a Jira trigger. It's basically listening to our stories. So let me just go back to my story, and yeah. So we have this story. Let's say it's created by a marketer. So we'll see like how different stages can be changed onto the Jira, and it will be moved through different journeys in the during the complete workflow is running.
we need to execute the workflow.
Yeah, so I've executed my workflow, so now it is active. Now I'm putting this story into review. So marketer has asked, basically now this story is completed and they have provided the images and the mapping where the paths of the site code should be updated. So now if I go back to my my marketer, like this N8N workflow, you could see like this, it's waiting on sending us message, sending a message step. So this step is basically human in the loop where it comes up. So right now you can see like I have received a Slack notification. And this notification, whenever a new Jira story gets created, it will be we will be sending a notifications to editor, like a new task has been created in Jira. Now what will we do? The editors will be going through this story. Like if they see everything looks fine to them, like the images which are provided in this Jira story are accurate and the everything looks correct, then basically right now this point is right now acting as a listener and still waiting until and unless I do any action on this step. So I had just approved it.
So as a part of this flow,
Yeah.
what it also did is it went through the Jira ticket, read the Jira ticket, downloaded the zip which had the images, downloaded the Excel file wherein the mapping was given of where the mapping needs to be done in the CMS, taken all that status, and it has configured or looked at it from, and it has given it to an AI agent, and through the MCP server of Content Hub, it is now uploading the images into Content Hub.
Yeah, so right now you can see the AI agent is performing all the tasks. So this AI agent is connected to Atlassian MCP, which is a Rovo MCP, as well as the Sitecore MCP class, Sitecore Marketplace MCP, and it's basic, not the Sitecore, sorry, the Content Hub MCP in this case. So it's basically reading that zip file which we have attached in the Jira ticket, and it's reading that and performing the upload to the Content Hub. So for the Content Hub, we have built a custom MCP because it is not there available in the marketplace yet. So right now, if you see like on this playground, we don't have any images tagged with the SUGCON 2000 category. But now since our this step has been completed, so if I go back to the Content Hub, so you could see the images have been uploaded into Content Hub. And if I go to any of the images, yeah, so you would see like every it is basically tagged to the SUGCON 2026 category, and it is basically in the approved state, and we have the public link generated. So this public link we have generated as a part of Content Hub MCP, which we have created, and each and every step which is being performed in this AI agent, it is basically auto able to do that using the complete AI agent which we have in the middle. Now, once that images gets uploaded into Content Hub, then when we are using the other AI agent into the picture, which is basically reading that images which has been uploaded into the Content Hub and performing the actions on the Sitecore CMS to update those images on the Sitecore CMS. So this second AI agent is being used for that purpose. Again, if you see, it is being connecting to Atlassian MCP as well as the Sitecore Marketplace MCP. Yeah, so now if I go back to Sitecore CMS right now, so yeah, let me just show you the page how it looks like earlier. So this is a page which is on which the images are getting updated. So right now it looks like this, in which there was a task to update the images. So if I just refresh this page after a moment, you will see the pages getting updated with the new images which we have uploaded into the Content Hub. But before that, let me just go on to the Jira story as well. Yeah, so as I mentioned, we are using the Jira MCP. So all the actions which are being performed in the MCP clients are being sent here, like all the item paths which are updated with the new asset ID have been mapped here, along with the new comment of the new asset IDs which were uploaded onto the playground. And finally, we are now, if you go back to the workflow step, It's still waiting for the approval. It's still we have another human in the loop, which is waiting for the Slack notification, and I have got a Slack notification just now. Yeah, you could see the task was successfully performed by Sitecore and Sitecore Content Hub, and it was able to perform the upload onto the Sitecore and Sitecore MCP, and as well as update the Sitecore items. So now, as an editor, what it will do, it will basically he will go into the Sitecore CMS and check like the task which is performed, it looks fine to them. Then what they can do, they can approve or decline depending on how the AI agent performed onto these steps. So yeah, if I now go back and refresh this page, I think our damn
Need to
session.
play to the demo cards today?
Yeah, I think the session might have expired in my content hub, but we will have the new images got reflected here.
So technically what happens is these particular public links which were created in Content Hub, they are now being mapped in this particular image fields of the CMS. It happened every time other than the demo right now, but that's how it was. So
Yeah, so you could see like the image which was uploaded into the playground have been mapped here, but since my session has expired in this session, so it's not able to pick that. But whatever the image was came from the Sitecore Content Hub, it mapped it into this image field using the AI agent, which was running in this step. Now, finally, what I can do, I can approve this depending on my how the AI agent performed. Yeah, so now finally it will be, the workflow would be completed successfully. So if I go back to the JIRA story, it will, let me just refresh this. So now, basically all the task has been completed in the Sitecore. So now it is assigned back from the editor to the marketer review and has been assigned to the marketer. So this is the complete journey, how it will look end to end using the amalgamation of different MCPs on the server.
right. Let's switch back to the deck.
Yeah.
Right. So what we saw was a workflow automation wherein you as a human is the orchestrator. There are benefits to it. Nobody requires a development background. Any person who knows how to set the process right, they can use N8N, Zapier, make these kind of tools and configure connections to the necessary apps, set the process, have the flow ready. It's a low code, no code. We can use Cloud Code, write a small JavaScript if needed, and just add it there. So again, no development background needed for this as such, and can be done. Best thing is it is automatic thing. Think about it. The developer or the person who had to do that swap of images manually would have taken 3 to 4 hours. But this was done in a matter of minutes. But there are some downsides to it as well. As you can see on the right, and as you also saw on the canvas, as it keeps building and you keep adding more and more steps to it, it keeps becoming complex. And eventually, think about it, you need to either add a new task or there is some tool or some connection to the application which stopped working. Well, you need to troubleshoot for hours and identify where did it break. Again, you are the orchestrator, but that is exactly the problem as well, that you are the orchestrator. So let's step back and look at what can be different here. This is your situation right now when you are the orchestrator, right? What could be different? This complex, it's not getting you smart anywhere. It is getting you fast. It is not getting you smart. So technically, that is where agentic workflows come into picture, wherein you don't have the canvas to write, you have maybe a Claude code or codex to write something, to create skills, and to take things forward. As a part of agentic workflow, and on the right, what we have is the same agentic workflow which we have in place as a screenshot to tell you. It has been basically in stages, right? What you need to do is a part of the stage in the skills. So at the workflow of automation, you were the orchestrator. Here, AI is the orchestrator, while you are the director. And eventually, what happens is the agentic system writes the code that is necessary, runs and tests it, and it keeps on doing that till it is successful. There are a lot of benefits to this as compared to the automation of workflow because there is no visual spaghetti. And if something breaks, not just today, but even few months down the line, it can still analyze itself and it can fix it. The best part, lowest complexity. And today you know that workflow, but if you have to onboard somebody or delegate it to somebody, how will you explain that? You have to create a Confluence document for that. You can summarize this same agentic flow using your AI. There are downsides as well. There are no debug or tracing logs available. With N8N or Zapier, you get debug logs. If needed, you can look at them and identify what it is. But again, there are like, it's always pros and cons, right? So here there is a downside right now. You can still configure. You can still find a way to get logs and get put it in somewhere in the system. But by default, there is nothing like how it is in N8N. So technically what happens is you just tell the agentic workflow what to do and it does the stuff for you. So what you need is you need a 3-step process when you're doing an agentic workflow. The first one is directive. It's a natural language prompt, as we say, and it is also part of skills and everything. What you technically tell is what you want to achieve at the end of the day. I want to connect JIRA, I want to connect this, I want to connect that, I want to upload images in Content Hub, use this MCP, use that MCP, all those things. It needs to be defined well. Then, at the level of orchestration, the AI, what it does is it breaks it down into instructions and steps that need to be executed and which tools are required for this particular agentic workflow to work. The execution is done by something like a Claude code because it writes the code, looks at the steps, writes the code, Python scripts, maybe calling an API, maybe involving some MCP and organizing things into files, creating a project. So eventually, what ends up happening is what we will see here, but Chirag will take us through.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, like N8N is suitable for most of the use cases, but when it comes to managing that N8N workflow, that can be clumsy and difficult in the long-going run. So for that, we have another alternative, which is the agentic workflow, which will, due to the crunch of time, we have already have the recording for this. So we'll be just showcasing this recording. But what in the background, behind the scenes is happening, the same functionality which we achieved right now using the complete human in the loop, the same would be achieved using the agentic workflow.
So in the interest of time, we created a video here because, of course, when an agentic workflow is executed, it takes a little time. But here we have the video where it is being put in the automation with JIRA, and then everything continues with the agentic workflow.
Yeah, so basically what is happening is it's basically automation created inside JIRA, where we have transition again to the review state, and we have one agentic workflow which is listening onto the JIRA. And again, like if you see, the card was empty and there were no images onto the Content Hub when this task will be executed. So what I'm going is, like, again, I am changing this status in review for this story. And again, like, because our Claude, like the MCP, the agentic workflow is running behind the scenes. This is our agentic workflow, which is running behind the scenes. It have received a notification for the new JIRA tasks, which have been sent in the review state. And we have got the notification in the Slack channel. And I have approved that notification in the Slack. And again, it proceed on to the next step. The Slack is approved, and it's setting the images from the JIRA ticket, which is images and Excel file, and uploading those zipped file images to the Content Hub. Again, it's basically using the same MCPs which we have built, but this complete workflow has been integrated using the agentic workflow, which is easier to manage. And we can see all the assets which have been uploaded to Content Hub have been provided here. And if I just refresh this page, we can see all the images have came across on the Content Hub. I am opening any of the asset detail page, and because it's doing the background processing, so it will take 10 to 15 seconds. Yeah, now we could see the image have been uploaded onto the Content Hub. And we could see the workflow has proceeded on to the next step. And it is now what is doing basically going to the Sitecore and attaching those public images which have been created in Content Hub and mapping it here. So if I go to Sitecore again, so right now you see the image is empty. And if I just refresh this item, so we could see the image which have been uploaded in the Content Hub have been associated here.
Glad it worked with the video.
Yeah, and again, I got the notification on the Slack that a editor can approve according to the task which has been performed on JIRA. And I can approve or reject it. Yeah, and my task got completed. And finally, the story will move to the marketer review and the marketer state. And all the comments into the JIRA are posted as well. Yep.
So as you can see, the same stuff that we were able to achieve as a part of an automation workflow with N8N, we have also been able to achieve as a part of the agentic workflow as well. And that's where our next details comes in here, which is when you're starting off initially, yes, you need to understand how it is. We have a process, manual process that we really do. We can automate it using an automation tool like N8N. We build the workflow ourselves. We connect the applications and identify how it works. But as an advanced user, the idea is that we should always be using agentic workflows. We should develop skills, and there are reasons for it, because for every task that you create or orchestrate as a part of N8N, you have to create another branch. But for an agentic workflow, it's just a new skill that you add to it. It's a simple file. And with that, we would like to say same outcome can be achieved by both of them, but what is done with agentic is with fewer number of steps and simpler to understand and can be easily delegatable as well. Thank you. Hope you liked our session. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
We would like to thank our sponsors again, and thank you everyone for joining us for this session.
Yeah, thank you to the sponsors, thank you to the organizing team, thank you to the media team for helping us enable this.